Good evening. Good morning, everyone. My name is Yumiko Asayama, Chief Manager of Japan Water Forum and also Coordinator of the Asia Pacific Water Forum. Today is 14th APWF webinar with Jack Sim and also expert from water.org, Sato Rixu and also ADB. And today, not here, Asia and Pacific, we already turned to the World Toilet Day. World Toilet Day was initiated through the effort and also humor with Jackson, who established the World Toilet Organization in 2001. And then this World Toilet Day, who is also the establishing date of the World Toilet Day, it became the World Toilet Day, which is supported by United Nations. And this is also anonymously approved by all in to make this day as inspiring action to tackle the global sanitation crisis. Today, Mr. Jackson will describe how to use a leverage model who can create massive global impact without authority, permission, and power to money. And you can learn how to create and orchestrate diverse stakeholders into efficiently aligned and highly motivated ecosystem that drive the impact in their own system. And now, after his presentation, we will hold a panel discussion with expert and practitioner from ADB, JK, and Jesse from Dota.org, and also Mr. Daigo Ishiyama from Sato Rixu, and Pierre Flamand, Chief Manager of Japan Sanitation Consortium, kindly moderated this session. Firstly, I would like to introduce the flow of today's webinar, but after 30 minutes presentation, we will conduct 40 minutes panel discussion. Then we will move on to the Q&A with audience. So it is grateful all audience here kindly leave your question to the Q&A box. And chat box is your comment or anything related to the message. So then we will pick up questions through the Q&A box. Thank you so much. Now I would like to invite Jackson to make your keynote speech. I'm very, very glad Jackson is also a member of APWF since the establishment of. And thank you so much for working with us through this webinar.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll just speak about how we created a World Toilet Movement. And because this subject was very neglected, everybody called it a water agenda, and they forgot to say water and sanitation. So I will start sharing my PowerPoint and start the discussion. You can see, yes? All right. So this year, the theme for World Toilet Day is called Toilets Are a Place for Peace. So what is peace? Peace is progress. It is a quality of life. It is the ability to enjoy peace and quiet and prosperity. So I think that is a lot of things are happening, and we have to address agendas that are neglected. When I first started 24 years ago, in 2001, I went to India and I saw people defecating openly in the morning before sunrise, and then once again in the evening after sunset. So they're in darkness, and that is the privacy that they have. And when they open defecate like that, all the men are in one row and all the women are in another later part section of the road. So as I was driving past, I took this photograph because I want the world to see this problem. What happened is that it is culturally like that since centuries. So they don't find anything wrong about it. But what's wrong is that the poop uh, will attract the flies and will spread the disease. So about 2 million people, mostly children, die of diarrhea every year. And the 40% of the world at that time don't have proper sanitation. Uh, why is it that if 2 million people die every year, nobody talks about it? But if COVID kills 30,000 people, the whole world shut down. It's because COVID kills both the poor and the rich and the middle class. And this diarrhea only kill the poor. So when a disease is killing the poor, they don't talk about it. And this is Philippines. I took picture. The rivers are polluted because people live next to the river to shit and the poop go down. And down river, there is all the pollution. So water that are usable become unusable. And this create a lot of health issue. So if you don't talk about it, you cannot improve. And the only way to break the taboo with no money, no budget, no authority, no permission, I went to make people laugh and talk about toilets in such with such humor. But we have been around for 24 years. We are able to create humor with no vulgarities. So that is a very fine line, but we are able to manage it very, very well. And people start to pay attention. So the media love this. When the media saw us able to make this type of a humor story, it helps them sell news and it helps them um, uh, win the advertising income. And as the media start to help us, it legitimizes us a lot. So another form of humor is to call ourselves the WTO. And it sounds like the World Trade Organization. So I was hoping that the World Trade Organization will sue me, and then the media will cover even bigger, and we will be famous, and sanitation will take center stage. Strangely, the WTO never sued us, and we became the other WTO. And in fact, I met the Pascal Lamy, the head of the WTO, the former chief, and the World Economic Forum, and he said to me, "Oh, I know you. You're the more active WTO. You know, we're still stuck in the Doha." So I think that there's a lot of acceptance. And our founding day was 19th of November, and we declared that day the World Toilet Day. Nobody give us permission. We just declare, and then the media wrote about it, and year by year it became more and more popular, and people start to use it by themselves. So this movement is self-generating, and it's an example of how you can do the leverage, because you cannot do everything. You have to get everyone to do it, right? And the logo is love your toilet. So these are all message image languages that helps to move the movement. So I created the first World Toilet Summit in 2001 on 19 November. It attracted 15 countries, government to participate. And thereafter, every year, we have World Toilet Summit in the Korea and in uh, China, India, Moscow, uh, Indonesia. We went to Sao Paulo. We went to Nigeria. So World Toilet Summit became a very big event for countries to gather all the experts and influence people. Then we went to Cambodia and we created Sani Shop. There was no money in Cambodia. The government has no money, and the people say they have no money also. And so how do you create a marketplace where people start to take out their own money to buy a toilet? We discovered that every village in the world has gossipers. And gossipers are very powerful people Today, in the modern society, these gossipers are called influencers. So at the village level, they are always creating trouble, criticizing people and gossiping. But we found that these people are talented. If we make them sell toilet and give them $3 commission every time they sell a toilet, then their gossiping talent became salesmanship. And we asked the manufacturer, which is the concrete casting factory, which is also very available in most villages and town, to give them $3. And what is the clue is that they tell the villagers that whoever don't have toilet is looked down and laughed upon by other people. So through this jealousy model, the villagers start to feel threatened by their neighbors and they start to buy toilets. And it is the same thing we learned from Louis Vuitton and Prada and Rolex. Everybody buy a branded goods, Louis Vuitton handbag, not because they need it, but because they need to protect themselves against the attack of other women who are carrying branded goods. So human psychology is actually how market function. So this program is now handled by the Rural Development Ministry, and it's now reached millions of people. So we only did 3 years, and we give the program back to the government. And the report today is that it's very, very sustainable by themselves. We also went to Belfast to host World Toilet Summit because UK is short of public toilet. In fact, they keep on closing down public toilets. So that's another type of problem that is upmarket, the top of the pyramid, but it's still a toilet issue which a World Toilet Organization are concerned and wants to solve, right? We went to Moscow, and this usually they are more interested about sports event and mega event toilets. And they also show us the Star City space station toilet, very, very high technology. And in 2007, we hosted World Toilet Summit. It was hosted by President Abdul Kalam and Sulap International, the biggest toilet NGO. And by the 7th year, I have still not employed a single staff. And I was working alone for free. In fact, I'm still working for free. It's 24 years of free work. But it was amazing that without any resource, we could leverage the president and 6 ministers, the World Health Organization, John Lin was there, and Sulap, and also the Crown Prince of the Netherlands also came. And that legitimized sanitation in toilets in India, and the Indian politicians suddenly realized they can win election by using toilets and promising toilets. So the media drive the political wheel. Then President Clinton came to endorse. He heard about our work, and we do fundraising together. And that also not just funds are raised, but also legitimacy are raised. So toilet become more and more normal, and it's not a taboo anymore. And then eventually, Bill Gates invested up to now $400 million into reinventing the toilet. And now we are helping them to try to grow this so that it become an efficient marketplace. Prime Minister Modi promised all people a toilet in their home, and his Clean India mission, Swachh Bharat, built 110 million toilets. And I think this is the biggest toilet construction project in the history of mankind. And when he came to Singapore, we put a photograph with 2 country flags together. So I'm not even a country representative, but this is a situation where you can create your own influence without having your country give you the influence. In Brazil, 50% of their sewage were not treated. And The Brazilian government has no money, and 94% of the sewage treatment plant were owned by the state. So how do you solve this problem? I went to lobby the Brazilian Senate, and I managed to convince 79 senators. I get 65 of them vote yes to change the law. And I was speaking in English, and it was translated to Portuguese, and it was still successful. And the bill was passed that now foreign investor and local investor, commercial investor are allowed to invest in wastewater treatment plant in Brazil, and it attracted to date 14 billion US dollar. And by 2035, the target is to raise 150 billion dollars of private investment. So you see, storytelling can solve a lot of issue. And what was my story? Because the senator, they already knew the benefit of sanitation, but they don't know what's good for them. So I explained to them that when the favelas people have toilet, they will win votes. And the senator suddenly understand that, hey, if I pass this law, it doesn't cost any money, and I'm going to win election. I'm going to be popular. I'm going to say that I am the one who support this. So suddenly everyone say yes. I mean, 65 out of 79 is very good result, and the law was passed. So this is a how we can help as a World Toilet Organization in different country. In the Nigeria, we went to Abuja and host World Toilet Summit, and it was the president uh, who hosts it, and the water resource minister who runs the whole operation. And the number 2 of the UN, Amina Mohammed, Deputy UN Secretary General, also came, and we gave them World Toilet Day Hall of Fame award, and they accepted it. So when big people accept such award, it's actually they giving us award rather than we giving them. So you can see the marketing and the strategy. Why? Because once they accept it, it becomes another legitimacy helping sanitation to move forward. So there's still a lot of difficulty in Nigeria, but we are very good friends with the head of the civil service, and we are determined to build this together. Tomorrow they are coming to our UN World Toilet Day commemoration, and we will continue to work to solve this problem. Celebrities come in. Akshay Kumar in India make a movie that is a blockbuster. Jay-Z, Coldplay perform on our World Toilet Day in 2016 in Mumbai, and 80,000 free tickets. So you see, I don't organize this. It's organized by Global Citizen, which is owned by Coldplay. And everyone is there in the Bollywood, you know. Prime Minister Modi and Ranbir Singh and Deepika Padukone, Divya Balan, everybody uh, was uh, was there. So and Shah Rukh Khan was the host. So I think these are the kind of life that you breathe in, and everybody takes it into their own hands. I was also very fortunate to see Matt Damon from Waterdog Art promoting World Toilet Day. And he did a publicity stunt that was very, very humorous again, you know. And then Salman Khan went on live or national television to fundraise for us on stage. So these are surprising things, but the opportunity when it comes, I seize them, right? Then in India, there is this very inhumane job called the sewer diver. Inside the manhole, when everything is stuck, they just open and get an untouchable low caste Dalit to dive into the manhole and clear the rubbish. So this, I mean, can you imagine immerse yourself with shit, and they emerge with all the plastic bottle and rubbish, then they will drink alcohol and they go down again. This person die at average 45 years old because he's breathing the toxic gas every day. So I saw this is not possible. We have to solve it. So we built with Hapik, the bleach company from Rakit Benkaiser, we built 15 world toilet colleges and we trained so many 75,000 sanitation workers. Most of them are toilet cleaner. We take the Japanese toilet training courses, translate to English, and then they translate to Hindi, and they are training the people. And we train and we place them into jobs. And then for the sewer diver, we introduce machine that the man stand above ground and the machine go down and bring up the chokage. And the machine was donated by Amitabh Bachchan, a Bollywood actor. So this model carry on and the social return on investment for Rakit Benkaiser was very good because the Hapik sales went up in India. Eventually, I went to lobby the UN General Assembly together with my country because after working for 11 years, our country, Singapore, start to realize that this is not a joke. And at first they thought that I'm just a funny guy talking about toilet, making people laugh. But eventually our foreign affairs minister saw that this is serious. And after I invited him to Hainan World Toilet Summit in China, he was shocked to see 1,000 government officials coming to our World Toilet Summit, and all the costs are paid by the host. So he supported, and we went to lobby, and we got the unanimous vote. And in 2013, our World Toilet Day became an official UN Day, which is tomorrow, and which is why we are here today. Then in China, the President Xi Jinping started promoting China Toilet Revolution. After the UN Day, he started to push it, and the rural toilet was very, very poor condition. So we went to build this Rainbow School Toilet Program. We only raised money for 17 school, and then we gave the model to the Chinese Ministry of Education, and they told us they like it and they will implement with 215,000 schools. So this is again, give people the ownership and don't be the hero. And I'm working with the ADB now. JK is here in the panel and funded by Gates Foundation to price the externality of what it costs to have no action for sanitation. And we are working in the two city in India, and the report is coming out at end of this year. And we hope to create it into a software that we can crunch the number and convince politician and decision maker that actually if you invest in sanitation, the return on investment, both private good and public good, is actually very, very large. And of course, we try our best to make it a market-based solution so it's easier for them. So the legacy we've created over the last 24 years is 2.5 billion people have proper sanitation, 3 billion audience annually read about World Toilet Day, and 19 World Toilet Summit, 110 million toilet built in India, $14 billion invested by Brazil. All Chinese tourism toilets are now clean, and the taboo is broken on sanitation. So the idea is that everybody start to become efficient and work like a Swiss watch. Because before, they were all not paying attention to it and they are fragmented. And we hope that they can be working more and more efficiently together. So I hope that we can now understand that if you want to change the world, you do not change it yourself. You have to use a leverage model that the other people will like to do it in their own name, and you don't be the leader. You are the facilitator, orchestrator, and if you stay low profile on the background, but start to look at all these other people as your colleagues, then you can start to cross collaborate. And when we say everyone has their own agenda, but if everybody's agenda are together, then collective selfishness is selflessness. So we don't go and tell people not to be a selfish, not to be egoistic. We tell people that actually they can achieve even more if they collaborate with other people together. And the result is that we don't worry about whether a politician is a good politician or bad politician. If he likes toilet, he is a good politician. So if we keep on looking at the good side of people and leverage them, we can find progress together. And I believe that going down stream, we have to mobilize more and more commercial and market-based solutions, because the ODA is now shrinking and the world is distracted by wars, by inflation, and all the 17 SDG are more or less becoming only one SDG called carbon. So we have to fight to make water and sanitation and hygiene visible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for Mr. Jackson for talking about your experience and lesson learned, and very, very important to emphasize what we don't talk about, we can improve. And it is very grateful even NGO people can influence, heads of states and government. And, or change of society, change, or policy, and you can also, or way to, or way introducing the way to collaborate with various stakeholders. And yes, that is also very, very important to enhance APWF network activity. Thank you so much. And now we would like to move on to the panel discussion. And from now on, I would like to ask kindly Pierre Flaman, Japan Sanitation Consortium, coordinates the panel discussion with the panelists. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you, Yumiko. Thank you for the introduction. So, as Yumiko said, I'm Pierre Flamand from the Japan Sanitation Consortium. And I would like to thank Jack Sim, first of all, for his fascinating presentation, showing all the journey he went through and full of good ideas, to promote the diffusion of safe toilets. So we will have now a panel discussion with 4 panelists. So Jack will kindly join us. We will also be joined by Mr. Jitendra Kumar Singh from the Asian Development Bank. Also from Ms. Josephine Mendoza from water.org and Mr. Daigo Ishiyama from Sato Lixil Corporation. Thank you all for joining our panel. I would like to just give a quick reminder for all the audience online. Please send your questions through the Q&A button. We have 1 question so far, so don't be shy and please send many questions for the panelists here. So first of all, I would like to start with a question to Jack and Daigo. So we have still 3.5 billion people today without access to safe toilets. And also the decision by the UN to hold the World Toilet Day every year on the 19th of November since 2013 has been an important step to bring people attention to the how would you rate the impact of the World Toilet Day global campaign and other action of this sort? Also, how would you evaluate the current rate of progress of the access to safe toilets how it has evolved over the years compared to, let's say, 10 or 20 years ago? And how do you see the trend for the coming years? I think Jack gave a lot of hints in his presentation, especially at the end, but I'd like maybe to elaborate more on that. And also, what is missing to accelerate the access to safe toilets and more generally, the access to safe sanitation services? Maybe, as you've been talking, Jack, I would like to ask Daigo to step in and to give his impression first.
Yeah, great. Hey, thank you for the question. Hello, everyone. I'm Daigo from Sato Lixo. So yeah, I think this World Toilet Day is great. It gives us a reason for us to celebrate as toilet sector once a year. So it's been great. I think it puts a lot of the sanitation agenda as an important topic, to a lot of the stakeholders. So I think it's a great way, for us to do that. So I commend Jack and WTO for, setting up this date as the World Toilet Day. But really at Sato and all the toilet people, every day is a toilet day. And I think the world has made great progress since 2013 in terms of eliminating open defecation. I think we're almost on track, if I'm not mistaken, to eliminate open defecation by 2030. But we have long ways to go. So yeah, I think you mentioned the impact of 10 years. I think we have made impact. I think so. What we do at Sato is since 2013 we've been selling the toilet pans. Coincidentally, it just we started selling in 2013, the year that the World Toilet Day was was acknowledged. And we've made great progress. Now we've shipped our products to over 45 countries. We've impacted more than 68 million lives. But that's building on the foundation that someone like Jack built at that time. And I think the agenda, the strategy wise, we can't do this alone. Right, so we need partnerships. We need all the stakeholders to come in and work together and make impact. And also for us, these private, public partnerships are great. And they, we can make big impact and in ways into the regions and markets. But the other focus that we have is this market-based sanitation, so that the sustained use and sell, make sell use model that we do locally, can drive this market-based sanitation, which decreases the need for government and donor funding while driving local business, right? So I think this type of initiatives behind the PPP, the private public partnerships, I think they help sustain the access to safe and affordable toilets. So as a private sector, we have expertise in this kind of business initiatives with the supply chain setup, retail channel setups, and things like this. So we try to focus on that too. So I think it's a combination of partnerships and market-based sanitation that we see is the key going forward.
Thank you very much. Jack, do you have anything to add to that? I'm sure you have plenty of ideas still left.
Actually, the non-sewer sanitation market is very, very big, and we need to tell business people and investor that this is huge. It's about, like, I wouldn't say multi-billion, because it is tens of billions, right? Maybe 50 billion, 60 billion kind of business at the start, and if we start to drive demand, it can be larger. So today, I actually spend time to go to Long Island to see the sewage company. And what they have is a situation in America, right? Where developer who build building have to build their sewage treatment plant for the building. The government is not providing anymore in this area. Their coverage is like 30% by the government. So 70% of the land don't have the sewage treatment. And I think this is a good future, because if you keep on laying pipes over 50 kilometer, 100 kilometer, it's very, very expensive. And in case of an earthquake, all the pipes break, and the maintenance of such long pipes is actually not viable. So on-site treatment that is safely managed sanitation can become more and more the norm. If you go to situation like Bangalore, where a lot of call center are there, and they just keep on selling land and approving building, but the sewage treatment plant actually cannot cannot manage. So you have to force the developer to build their own treatment on site underneath their building. So this kind of technology is already available. And coming to the market-based solution for the Satopan kind of product, as you can see, the poor actually has money. A lot of people thought that the poor don't have money. And the poor always say, I don't have money. So I asked them, okay, you don't have money, I know that. But how come you can afford the cell phone? And before the cell phone came, you don't have money. After the cell phone came, you have money to buy the cell phone and also to pay like a $2 every month for the subscription. So where did the money come from? And then suddenly you hear the answer is like, oh, of course I have to, because if I don't have a cell phone, then how do I talk to my friend? And why does a child, 12 years old, why is she or he having a cell phone? He says, oh, that's the problem. In the school, if he don't have a cell phone, then the other kids laugh at him. So I say, where did your money come from? And they say, all right, because we have to have cell phone. So we rear some chicken, and we now start one business selling chicken, and we also cut down on the donation to the temple, and we save money on the snacks, alcohol, tobacco. You know, suddenly they is doing financial planning themselves because of the market jealousy and status symbol. So we have to make toilet same like a cell phone. And I think the people will have money if they prioritize.
Thank you so much. Yes, I think we are touching upon your willingness to pay and how to trigger willingness to pay for sanitation. And also, as you said, Jack, you know, is well, there are many non-sewer sanitation is widely spread around the world. That is true. I think one of the main issue is the safe management, because often it's privately owned properties, so people don't necessarily want to pay for the management of their non-sewer sanitation system, which is the issue. And that thing, I think personally, that's where the so governments have to step in and make it a public service, as it is, for example, here in Japan. Thank you very much. Now I would like to turn to JK, Jitendra, and ask about, among the many projects through which ADB provide loans, technical assistance, grants, and equity investment, what is the importance of project inclusive of toilet construction? And what is the trend of the investment in this sector, especially after the recent COVID pandemic crisis? Do you see a shift in investments from sanitation to other sectors?
Thank you, Peter, for the question. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Jiten Kumar Singh, and I'm sitting in ADB headquarters in Manila, and I'm in Water and Urban Development Sector Office. Technically, professionally, I'm a water supply and sanitation specialist. And first of all, I must say that it's a privilege to be in this panel today discussing toilets, and especially with Jack Sim, who initiated What Toilet Day. To this, your question, Peter, actually, there has been a trend of improving trend of sanitation projects in past few years after the pandemic, though it is coming down. The way pandemic intensity has come down and people are forgetting, that has come down a little. And if you see the last 1 year, the projects approved by our team, like Water and Urban Development Sector Office, almost 80% of the projects have significant sanitation components. And also, immediately after the pandemic, we were doing something in the field of wastewater epidemiology, that is wastewater-based surveillance, and that was picking up, though there is not much demand on that part. So, as Jack already told, that there are multifaceted benefits of sanitation. If you invest in safely managed sanitation, you save time, you prevent the spread of disease, and improve the quality of life. And that is one of the things ADB is aspiring all the time. So, so we have seen many projects. And when I'm talking about those projects approved in last 1 year, if I look back on the scope, it varies actually. If you ask about toilet construction, the projects are not primarily meant for constructing toilet in the individual houses, but beyond the houses, that is from the property line of the individual houses, sewer line, pumping station, go to sewage treatment plant, all becomes a part of these projects. And apart from that, community toilets, toilets in public buildings, schools and all are invariably the part of this scope. And if we look back and see other innovative things like mobile toilets in tourist places, pink toilets, especially dedicated for women, these kind of projects also come. And I must say that in last few years, safely managed fecal sludge, that is also invariably becoming a trend in most of our developing member countries. And last thing I'll say about when you mentioned about loans, grants, and TAs. So apart from these projects which are required by the member countries, we also provide support in terms of technical assistance and grants, like the one project Jack was talking about. His team is working on a study in India on cost of no action. Similarly, we also are making some pilots in India through our accelerating innovation digitalization program to try mechanize startups for mechanized cleaning of sewer lines, manholes, septic tanks, and there are certain examples here and there, but we want it to bring into mainstream. So this is how the trend is going. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for this informative response, JK. Now I would like to invite Josephine, Josier, and then Jack. So the current rate of progress is far from allowing the solving of the global sanitation crisis and the achievement of SDG 6, particularly for sanitation for all by 2030. Providing access to safe toilets is, of course, an essential first step for human rights to protect everyone's dignity, especially for women and girls. But toilets cannot be dissociated to the provision of other sanitation services, which include the safe treatment of the wastewater generated by toilets and the sustainable management, including regular maintenance of the whole sanitation service chain. Is a portion of safely managed sanitation services not sufficiently considered when a toilet construction project is planned? So is it only toilet construction project, or do you have also the other portion, the other link of the sanitation service chain included as well? So Josie, please go first.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I'm actually looking for a place because I'm currently in a forum here in Singapore. But anyway, back to your question here. Water.org recognizes that achieving sustainable development goals, SDG 6, require holistic approach to water and sanitation. So going beyond toilet construction to include the entire sanitation services chain. So while providing access to safe toilets is a critical first step in ensuring human dignity and rights. The broader aspect of safely managed sanitation services such as wastewater treatment, maintenance, and sustainability are often under prioritized due to actually several changes, several challenges. So first, focus on immediate outcomes. Many toilet construction projects, maybe Sato know about this one, prioritize rapid, visible results to meet immediate needs or donor requirements. However, this focus on infrastructure alone may neglect long-term operational and maintenance needs, as well as the treatment of wastewater fecal sludge. So number two, lack of integration in planning. Sanitation projects often lack integrated planning that considers the full sanitation chain. For example, treatment facilities, wastewater management system, and capacity for regular maintenance are sometimes treated as separate or secondary components. So leading to a gap in safely managed sanitation. Third, for third, maybe, you know,
Oh, we lost Josie.
sorry about that. So
Okay, no
for
problem.
resource constraints, financial, technical, and institutional resources are often limited for building and maintaining the supporting infrastructure for safely managed sanitation services. So these constraints lead to, incomplete solutions that address access to water and sanitation. So at water.org, we emphasize the need for sustainable and end-to-end sanitation solution in our program. So first, we have the financing the entire chain. So through partnership with the financial institution like MFI, cooperative, banks, we enable households and communities to access loans not only for toilet construction, but also for investment in septic tanks, wastewater management, and regular maintenance services. So these partnerships also enable SMEs in the water supply and sanitation value chain, as these players are crucial to manage and maintain systems as they provide the materials, inventory, and manpower. So number two is the capacity building. We at water.org, we provide training and technical assistance to our partners, financial institutions, utilities, if requested, local government, to improve the planning and management of sanitation system. So ensuring they are safe, efficient, sustainable. We also have material that we can provide to partner financial institutions that they can use to, ensure that constructed sanitation projects by borrowers are safe and sustainable. Back to you, Pierre.
Thank you very much. Thank you for. Now I would like to turn to Jack with the same question. Do you remember the question, Jack?
No, it's very long ago. So please.
It's very long ago. So I was talking about, when we have a toilet construction project, this toilet construction project cannot be dissociated with what's come next after, which means the treatment of wastewater and fecal sludge. So do you think there is too much dissociation between the two, or
No, I think that once people take ownership, which means that they must pay some money, it cannot be free, they will start to want to maintain it. The big problem is a lot of donation only focus on giving the toilet, and then they didn't think about long term, because long term you cannot keep on financing forever, right? So this problem about building toilet and then nobody maintain it is a serious problem in the philanthropic and the ODA sector. Especially the ODA sector is always focusing on pilot project. In fact, this is not just a problem called the pilotitis, which is a disease of piloting everywhere, and later on, everything collapsed after the donor team left. So if we want to think about sustainable, safely managed sanitation, it can be in many models. It can be a totally commercial model that is, of course, the best. It can be the private-public partnership, which is the public good is paid by the government, and the private good portion of the sanitation is paid by the local people. And you need to have a fee charge for the emptying, for the disposal, for the maintenance. And this kind of model is normal the moment you are able to generate the demand. That means people want to have this sanitation system. For example, the $14 billion investment in Brazil was very easy because once they passed the law, the government promised that they will allow the company to charge the favelas. And the favelas people are very happy to pay for the services. And so you have a willing buyer, willing seller, but inefficient investment. So once we breach that efficiency of the investment, the market becomes normal. I think all things need a coordination and good governance, and after that, the market can take care of itself. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good governance. So we need to teach our decision makers, for good governance. Thank you. Now I would like to turn to Daigo and to ask him, what are the technical solutions provided by SATO for wastewater management with toilet when funds are limited and when there is not yet a system in place for maintenance?
Yeah, hey, thanks for the question. So yeah, like what Jack was saying about maintenance, and just the satisfaction of customers and end users. And I think when you talk about safely managed sanitation, the capture of waste is sometimes neglected in the narrative. First, you have to collect the waste, right? So that means, you move people from open defecation to fixed defecation, but then increase the user experience, enhance that experience so the users would want to use the toilet, right? So I think the capture of waste is just as important as treatment itself, or it's the first step in doing so. So for Sato, what we've been focusing on is to really understand the pain point of the users. No one likes bad smell and insects, we found out from the users. They want water-saving features so they can keep using a toilet in the drought season, or even in the most water-stressed areas of the world. Or the security, they want the toilets to be close to their home so they don't have to walk a kilometer to the bushes. Safety, especially for girls, or against snakes and rodents, so they don't get bit by snakes. And just the privacy, when they're in the toilet, they should be safe and secure. So these things are really important for that first step. So we have solutions around those pain points. So that's where we started. So that's the toilet that we invented back in 2013. Jack, if you remember those days, there were really no rural latrine pans that would eliminate the smell and the insects. So that's the first step we took, with the water saving features. So those things are important. I just want to point that out. And then the solutions, can be the composting of pits or the waste inside the pits. So we have a pit liner product from Sato that can line pits for leach pit applications. And that can be used for twin pit purposes, which is considered in safely managed sanitation. So we have systems like the V-trap that would promote and facilitate the construction of twin pit latrines. Currently we're working on systems like the sealed pit system. So unlike the leach pits, we're trying to contain all the moisture in the waste too, so you can vacuum, the contents when it's time to vacuum out the pits. So we're working on the sealed pit system like this. We're working on the tiger worm digester kit. We see a lot of potential in tiger worm digester. So we're making this kit that we're testing, we're pilot testing for commercialization in Africa. And we're working on other treatment systems and working with the treatment solution partners in the sector to make sure the use of toilet, the safely managed sanitation is sustained, for a long time. So yeah, so that's the kind of products we have and the solutions that we're working on as Sato. So back to you, Pierre.
Thank you. So Josephine, now, could you please also describe the mechanism used by your organization to improve access to toilets, as well as water and sanitation in general?
Okay. First of all, I just wanted to, briefly introduce water.org. So water.org is an international NGO founded by Gary White and Matt Damon. So water.org uses innovative, market-driven financial solutions to address the global water crisis. To date, we positively impacted over 70 million lives across 11 countries in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. So water.org employs several innovative mechanisms to improve access to safe water and sanitation. First, we have this water credit initiative. This is actually the flagship program of water.org. We partner with microfinance institutions, rural bank, cooperatives to integrate water and sanitation financing into their portfolios. Through water credit program, we provide technical assistance to help these FI, financial institutions, design, implement, and scale affordable loan products for household and small businesses to build toilets, install water connection, and invest in the sanitation facilities. We also have this blended finance model. Water.org collaborates with local governments, development agencies, and the private sector to create blended finance programs that combine grants, loans, and subsidies. So this approach helps reduce financial barriers for low-income communities while encouraging private sector participation. So we also have capacity building for financial institutions. We work closely with financial institutions to improve their ability to serve water sanitation needs. So this includes training on product design, marketing strategies, and portfolio management tailored to water and sanitation investment. We always believe in collaboration. So one of water.org engaged with fintech companies with mature digital solutions that make financing for water and sanitation more accessible. So this includes digital platform for loan application and disbursement, mobile payment, system for seamless repayment, and tools to improve credit assessment for underserved communities. We also provided technical assistance to our partners, government, utilities, to develop program policies and infrastructure that support water and sanitation access. We also advocate for the inclusion of water and sanitation in broader development framework. And lastly, we engage or we also partner with the Apex organization. We collaborate with Microfinance Council of the Philippines, the Rural Bankers Association of the Philippines, and the Mindanao Microfinance Council. Back to you, Pierre. Thank you.
Thank you. That's impressive. Very comprehensive answer. Thank you very much. So I'm back to JK, and so some countries have made major efforts to improve access to toilets through projects such as China's Toilet Revolution and India's Swachh Bharat mission, as Jack mentioned in his presentation. And the latter is the world's biggest toilet building project, with a declared total of 110 million toilets constructed for 600 million people over 60 months. Could you please tell us more about the impacts of this project, and what are the remaining challenges, even for those who have been provided access to toilets? And then this question, I will send it also to Jack. Please, Jack, don't forget the question.
I remember.
Thank you, thank you. So before I say, this is not actually a kind of ADB supported project. We are involved in limited way there, but this is one of the major project happened in the region, and it has a long term effect not only in India but other aspiring countries as well. So in India, if you recall, Jack started in his presentation how he saw the line of men and women defecating in the evening after the sunset. So that scenario is no longer. That is the first impact of this toilet revolution. So Swachh Bharat mission brought, like you say, 110 million, maybe it's 100 million, but it's a big number. And now you don't see such scenes that people are going in open for defecating. So that is a massive achievement. And when you see the long-term impact and how successful it was, I will just say that uh, then after many other programs came, like Swachh Bharat Mission, SBM, then SBM 2.0, SBM Urban, SBM Rural, and having different KRAs, because the program cannot be implemented in one go. Everything cannot happen. So you can consider it as a step-by-step journey. First, the toilets were constructed. Then came that, okay, there should be an aspiration to sustain the ODF, open defecation free status, and also to safely treat the septage, and also if it is connected to sewer line, the sewage. And that is it's still a challenge, you know. So if you see the progress, I can recall that 5 years ago, if you talk about fecal sludge treatment plants, there were a handful of those in India, maybe in two digits. But now, if we review, maybe in four digits, like 1,500 or 1,200 functional FSTPs across India are there. So these all are connected. And also, if you talk about sewage treatment, not only Swachh Bharat mission, but also came uh, Namami Gange program along the 2,500 kilometers of river Ganges. All the towns in the bank were provided fund to either sewage treatment plants, sewer network, and that created a massive increase in the number of functional STPs. So in total, there may be around 800 STPs in the country, and also the program like Amrit and Amrit 2.0. So this all happened in the same time, and this was a cohesive approach, and that's how we see there is tremendous change in sanitation sector in India. And my last point will be that that is really a kind of a benchmark for other aspirational cities to go step by step and to reflect on the learnings from those programs and then suitably involve in their program. Thank you.
Thank you, JK. I will add that the example of India shows how important, the willingness of leaders and the leadership of leaders is important in this aspect. So, Jack, what do you?
Yeah. So I think that when we see windows of opportunities for the political will, we must also understand that the political will come with some timing. So the most important timing for the Swachh Bharat project politically is to be able to declare on the Red Fort on the 2nd of October 2019 that this is a present for the 150th anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. And in this stroke of genius, political genius of Prime Minister Modi, he is able to transfer the image through the spectacle of Mahatma Gandhi from the Congress Party to the BJP. So this is very intelligent as far as a politician. I mean, who is so genius to think about taking over the father of India to become your party mascot. So in order to do that, it is demand supply driven. That means it's build toilet as fast as possible. This presented a problem of that it is not a demand driven project, because everything must be demand driven before the supply come, because when you don't sensitize the people to crave for a toilet, then after that, they might use it as a storeroom, they might use it as a kitchen, they might even not maintain it. They said, this is, I don't know why they gave me this thing, but I actually don't need it. And of course, some of it is over reporting. So all these are expected, but I would say it was a very great project. A lot of toilet are built, like JK said, maybe not 110, but 100 is still very big. So if you have like 10% wastages, then you can go back to repair. However, what we saw is the transformation of a culture that was open defecation, and now very few. So we still see this in Africa, in the Southeast Asia countries, in Indonesia as well. So I think that there's a lot of work to do, but there are already proven model in China, in India, in more earlier developed country like Singapore. I also grew up in the British bucket system. I don't have toilet in my house. I'm running around naked because we don't have money to buy clothing, and I see other children having worms coming out from their anuses while playing with me. So I know all these things. But as you can see, once we solve the sanitation problem, suddenly the country became so rich. And in 25 years from independence in 65, by 1990, it became a first world country. And today it's like top 3 per capita income in the world, Singapore. So I think sanitation and the growth of the prosperity is very, very linked. And I saw everything firsthand, so I don't have to read a book how poor people feel. I'm a poor person, I feel. So I think that we can solve this problem because it's proven over and over again. Japan used to be, do you know that in the 1980s, Japanese men are urinating on the street? And then no more, right? I don't know if you stay there long enough, you know that they were always urinating on the street in the 1980s. And that's not so long ago, but suddenly society can change the behavior. So I think that we are into storytelling, into behavioral change, into advocacy, and we have to keep on finding the narrative that will trigger people to change.
Thank you very much. Keep on fighting the narrative. This is very important. Okay, now I go back to JK and maybe another panelist as well. So the theme of this year's World Toilet Day is a place for peace, a place that should be safe and secure despite the threat of conflicts, climate change, disasters, and neglect. The Gates Foundation, a partner of ADB, has taken a different approach to conventional sanitation infrastructure by supporting the development of reinvented toilets and other sanitation solutions that can safely meet the needs of diverse communities, are water efficient, and are more resilient to change in the climate. Despite the promising technologies that have been developed and are still under development, the costs of these new technologies for toilets remain high and cannot decrease unless it is heavily produced. How do you see the demand for such product? And more generally, how big can be the impact of sanitation innovations in solving the current sanitation crisis? And what could be done to accelerate the diffusion of such innovations? So back to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Peter. So this is really interesting question. Maybe I'll prefer to answer your second question first about sanitation innovation. So my perspective is that with the technological advancement in every field, we are talking about mobile phone data and reach to every person. Sanitation is a sector which has really not adopted much of technological innovation in last so many years. So we are aspiring to reach to the different other planets. We have technology in all our way of life. Everything has changed, but sanitation and how we are handling the shit is not changed much. So there is a requirement of technological advancement and coming into. And to that extent, when I see on the Gates Foundation reinvented toilets, they are our financial partners, and we have been briefed by what is going on there. And to my understanding, the reinvented toilet which they are trying to bring into the market, it's little early for me to comment on that, but I see the way is that it's really transformational. And once they are going to try in the developed economies, because first the acceptability is the important factor, and it is once it is successful, I believe that the cost will come down once it comes to like economies like China and India. So that is a hope. And also I see from the other perspective that if this solution works, which is like no need of sewer line, and whatever waste is there that is being treated in the toilet itself, like a small washing machine in one corner of the toilet, so then it will be like if not accepted by the entire country, at least part of the problem can be solved through this. That will be a tremendous achievement. And I can see if not Gate Foundation, who else can try this thing. So this is a welcoming thing. We are looking towards that, but I cannot say at the moment that it will be like transformational in our developing countries the way we are doing. We are also looking towards that. One more thing here, I will say that in future we'll have to change our perspective also to see this availability, because right now we are investing beyond the toilets, we are investing in sewer lines. And when we are laying the sewer line, the inconvenience caused to traffic, people digging and filling back the trenches, pumping stations, STPs, running cost of that, everything should be taken into account when we talk about these solutions are very costly. So the time will come, but we are looking towards this very hopefully. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So because of time constraints, I will move to the next question. And my last question will be first to Daigo. What action people can take at their level to improve the situation with safe toilets and sanitation access?
Yeah, hey, thanks for the question. So yeah, I think this is World Toilet Day. We celebrate, toilets. I think one thing we can do is to not take, toilets for granted. And the treatment systems, the FMTPs, all that. If you are fortunate enough to live in those areas, to not take those things for granted. Every day we can save water, recycle plastic, and do all those things as a global citizen. But I think one thing that we can all do, especially the stakeholders in the sector, is to not forget the focus on the end users, because really their satisfaction and their behavior is going to determine whether the world can achieve SDG 6. So that focus on the users, the end users, I think is one thing we want to just keep not forgetting. And also, if you need partners, private sector, problem solvers, please reach out to us. We're always looking for partnerships with like-minded partners to do more good for the communities. So
Thank you very much, Daigo. And we understand that partnership is very essential. Josie, can you also answer the question? So what action people can take at their level to improve the situation of access to safe sanitation?
Okay. So in water.org, we believe that improving access to safe toilet and sanitation is crucial for public health integrity, and therefore it needs individual action. So maybe here are some action that individual can take at their level. Number one, invest in household sanitation. So if financially possible, build or upgrade household toilet and septic system. use financing option. We have a lot of FI offering water and sanitation programs to repair loans or microfinance or to make improvements on their toilet. So we also, if needed, we should advocate for sanitation as priority, depending on the opportunity to speak up in community meetings or with local leaders to, prioritize investment in safe toilet and sanitation systems. Advocate for the inclusion of sanitation services in local development plans of the village and the local government units. Educate, educate and raise awareness. Share information about the importance of sanitation for health, dignity, and the environment. Educate others, extended family, community, workplace, and so on about the risk of open defecation and unsafe waste disposal. Partner also with local organizations, collaborate with community group or school, promote sanitation campaign or implement education programs. We should also hold leaders accountable, engage with policymakers and demand transparent action plans for improving sanitation access. Participate in dialogue and vote for leaders prioritizing health and sanitation infrastructure. I believe by taking these steps at an individual and community level, everyone can contribute to closing the gap in safe toilet and sanitation access and achieving, the sustainable development goal number 6. Thank you, Pierre.
Thank you very much, Josie. So now I will take one question from the panelists, which is, I think, an important one, even if it's a big one, a large one, to JK, and then I will end up with Jack. So JK, so the question was first of all to Jackson, but I will also ask you the same question. Throughout all of the achievements since the promulgation of the World Toilet Day, what would you say is the biggest challenge? Or the remaining challenge, I would say, yeah.
I will say biggest challenge. And biggest challenge still is the kind of people's perception. So when we talk about water supply and sanitation, we find that there are not much focus group discussions or behavior change campaigns required when we talk about water supply projects, because people know what they're looking for, what are their needs. But in the same time, when sanitation projects are coming in the vicinity, people don't realize that this is their project because they want to get rid of the shit. So they think this is somebody else's job. The moment we start looking that this is also our job and somebody, in this case, government is helping us on the sanitation projects, and we start taking interest, that will be like transformational thing. Because I don't think that the youth or public is really questioning their local authorities what I'm aspiring for, why it is not happening. It's not always clear that shortage of fund is the problem. Because from Asian Development Bank point of view, when we are sanctioning some loan or grant and the projects are going on, and why the projects are not that successful, one of the reason is that there is no accountability expectation from the public when sanitation projects are going on. So if that thing gets changed, and we are trying our best through different channels and mediums, but if that behavior and that perception gets changed, that will be really very much helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So lastly, I would like to turn to Jack. And sorry, Jack, we have now still some time left. So I would like first to give you the opportunity to answer the question about how the technology innovations can make a change. And then I also you answer the question about the biggest challenge. I would like maybe to elaborate more on that with the audience. So please, Jack, to you.
Yes, I think that all problems that are faced by any countries have already been solved by somebody else. Therefore, we need to create the efficiency of knowledge sharing. And the knowledge sharing is a very, very inefficient. I'll give you an example. When I went to the last UN water conference at the UN here, I think about 14,000 people participated. And the number of rooms talking about water is 95%. Only 5% is talking about wash, right? And almost no room talk about menstrual hygiene. And I think that we are working 24 years creating this movement. And the result is that we try to decouple sanitation to give it own center stage, but the development sector follow the money. The money is not in sanitation, the money is in water. The popularity of votes are in water. So ADB asked me, can we find a way to increase the government application for sanitation loan, for wash loan? And I think that is a very critical thing they must do, because if you see India, you see China, they prioritize because politically it's expedient. We have to then create political expediency for the politician and decision maker and senior officer to realize that this is not just good for the people, it's also good for them individually. And I think one of the, I'm a businessman before, so I can say there is no such a business that is profitable with no investor. Therefore, we should look at problem without thinking of whether there is money or not. We should look at the ideal situation and then start to write down who will benefit from it and who will pay for it. And those people who will benefit for it, why is it affordable over a certain period of time? And if they need financing in the meanwhile, very nice, we can find the financing. But when the end solution happen, then they have crossed productivity of its people, growth of GDP, quality of life, political votes. So many good things will happen, and we have to give them that vision so that they can see the beautiful future of everyone having access to safely managed sanitation anytime, anywhere they need it. Because it is not just home. It is the workplace, it is the work construction site, it is the highway, it is the tourism place, it is the kindergarten, the school, the prayer centers, industrial building, everywhere. And if we understand that you have no choice, you don't go to the toilet. Therefore, you need to enjoy the toilet because toilet is culture, like food. If you enjoy food, you enjoy toilet.
That's a great conclusion. Thank you very much, Jack. Well, that was a very instructive and exciting panel we had. I think we heard many good ideas, and what I really retain is that taboo is broken in sanitation, and to get everybody's agenda needs to be together is really extremely important. And also what you said that Jack, that storytelling can solve a lot of issues. So I get to get we need to get everyone on board in the same direction and to make understand people that investing in sanitation has a high return. I thank you very much all for your participation. I would like also to congratulate Jack for his wonderful journey and his achievements. The World Toilet Day is also his day, so well done for that. And I would like now to give the mic back to Yumiko for a quick concluding word. Thank you very much.
Okay. Okay, firstly, Pierre, thank you so much for coordinating panel discussion. And I also thank you for Jack, JK, Daigo, or Joshi to respond to Pierre's question and conduct interactive discussion with him. And next, actually, tomorrow, Jack Sim you are organizing, toilet summit in UN. We would like to know what you will do.
So basically, it is a 2-hour session, and we are getting to know all the people's point of view. And after the 2 hour is the main work, because the value of getting in touch with those who are willing to appear. That means when they come to participate, they are interested. Then my job is to find the resources to help them. And since I am a friend of everybody in the entire sector, whatever problem they face, we can solve, and we can match the people to them, and we can also monitor so that the conversation don't get broken. So I think that the efficiency of conversation, the efficiency of knowledge sharing, the efficiency of financing, market, we are basically talking about one word: efficiency. If we are able to create efficiency, we can solve the SDG number 6.2, maybe a little bit longer than 2030, but we can solve it. Yeah.
Thank you. And we are now in all mostly in Asia Pacific. And can we access your activity, your event by online?
I don't know. It's a UN water organized.
Okay. Anyway, we will check the website. And thank you so much for introducing what you will do tomorrow. And also today is World Toilet Day, but we need to talk this matter of sanitation and improvement to access or sanitation and hygiene every day is more daily and more easily, casually. So it is grateful if we can work together, and if it is also grateful if Jacksim's humor also change our way of behavior perception. Thank you so much for Jacksim and all panelists, JK, Joshi, Daigo, and Pierre. And I also thank you for all the participants who joining this webinar. And I think all questions is responded by Jacksim. So that's why we couldn't have a specific time to respond to questions through Q&A. But if you have any other additional question to all panelists, please ask question by email to us. Okay, so we are very looking forward to seeing you in the next occasion. Thank you so much for joining our APWF 14th webinar. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.